Hey there, it's Joseph, and welcome back to the YouTube channel dedicated to San Miguel de Allende secrets. And today we're going to be talking about just how many foreigners actually live in San Miguel de Allende. As always, if you need additional information, in the descriptive box below there's links to various websites, including Amazon.com that has all 10 books in the best-selling series San Miguel de Allende Secrets for sale. San Miguel de Allende has a disproportionate share of foreign residents when compared to most places in Mexico beyond the border, the beach resorts, and the capital. The foreign population grew from a mere handful in the 1930s to approximately, who knows? An academic book on the town was released about a decade ago, claiming that in 2010, 10% of the 120,000 population was foreigners. However, it was one of the few statements presented as fact in the book without a citation of the source for such claims. That didn't stop that 10% figure from being bandied about in books, videos, articles, ever since, especially those with a slant towards presenting the town as the equivalent to a gringo Disneyland. I've even read one newspaper citing walking along the streets of town to being the same as walking along the streets of Peoria, Illinois. I understand a lot of folks that write about town have never been here, but can't one at least do a Google image search to see that that's simply not true? There's no doubt northern tourism peaked at the turn of the century. Back then, in 2000, being the only option for English tours and entertainment, the English library literally shoveled in cash, increasing the overhead costs simply to spend it all. Suffice to say, those decadent days are decades past. Domestic tourism has been, and likely will continue to be, our town's tourism bread and butter. But just how many foreigners live here? That's a hard number to find for a multitude of reasons. First off, the census doesn't differentiate between foreigners and nationals. Also, not everyone has a Girl Scout honor code on how many live here in a residence. So, for example, some feel if you are living alone, it's best to state that there are others in the home just for safety's sake. Secondly, what is a foreign resident? Many claim to live here, even if only here for vacations at a second or third home. It reminds me of chatting up other parents on the remote Atlantic island that claim to be raising their kids there. Sure, their kids had fun in the summers at the beach, but that's hardly living there. Perhaps it's human nature to lay stronger claim to one's more exotic port of calls. Thirdly, as folks from the U.S., we adore increasing our relevancy and importance. 10%? Do I hear 15? Why not 25? Who's to know? As an aside, Canadians rarely move here full-time for the possibility of losing their medical insurance. Lastly, there are several foreigners that live here and rarely ever leave their home due to illness, age, or lack of interest. Some foreigners are quite content to listen to NPR and watch Netflix and stay immersed in the home-based English-speaking world, limited to occasional interactions with their staff. So, if I had to make an educated guess, I would be surprised to learn there are more than 1,000 or 2,000 foreigners living in town 24/7, 365. It is the visiting foreigners that fill our restaurants and shops, as many resident foreigners are on strict pension limitations. San Miguel de Allende is not a cheap city to live in by Mexican standards. We'll probably never know exactly how many foreigners live here full-time, and on a macro level, it really doesn't matter much. Far better to enjoy the fiestas and fireworks, and if more folks from the north come to join the party, that's okay too. As always, feel free to click the subscribe button below to keep up to date on new releases here on the YouTube channel dedicated to San Miguel de Allende Secrets.